Alright, I apologize. I got so excited and worked up, I hit a button and shut everything down. So this video is going to be broken up into two parts. And back to what I was talking about. Yeah, the people seem to. Now, I'm not judging anybody. All I'm simply saying is that it seems to me that a lot of people who, from my own experience, who get really worked up over these visions that they encounter, um, they haven't really gone deep into themselves to realize that these experiences can be touched on very easily if you simply just put in the time and the work to go into altered states of consciousness and learn how to cross over. Now, like I said, I'm not knocking psychedelics at all, trust me. But yeah, you can get into these worlds without just depending on that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, don't do it or do it. I'm simply just saying that you don't have to become dependent on it, where that's the only way you can have these experiences is through doing, any type of psychedelic, or things that alter your consciousness. Now, when I talk of psychedelics, of course I'm talking of places that they are legal. So I'm not telling anyone to run out and get psychedelics. I'm only speaking about if it's legal in your area or country. If it's not, hey, to each his own. Do what you gotta do, but don't say that Seth Dark Arts told people to run out and get psychedelics. But yeah, you could really tap into this stuff. And basically, if you, for me, like, let's see, if you do it this way, I mean, if you want to get into that stuff and start using these type of elements to get into these other realms, they should be used with respect. They should not be used as just a recreational thing where it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this and then I'm going to go out to a rave and get crazy. That's when you hear a lot of negative comments from people and bad, so-called bad trips and things. If you want to do these things, they have to be, I would say, in a peaceful environment, definitely by yourself. A lot of people get afraid, they don't want to do it by themselves, but I recommend it in a nice room. If you want to, and if you're brave enough, turn off the lights, get in a nice little zone. You don't have to have the lights off, but yeah, it'll probably make your trip deeper. And just really, just get into the zone, man, and you can really have some deep, profound experiences. People who have bad trips, these are the ones who want to do these things and run out about the town and mixing it with alcohol, and it has to be a type of spiritual, or if you don't like the word spiritual, just a consciousness expanding experience that you are looking to find something within yourself or within your own psyche or in your mind, not just for pure entertainment. And do your research. Don't do anything until you do research. Find out other people's experiences and find out what they're talking about. Because if you're not, how do I say this, man? If you haven't been traveling into these other realms on your own, consciously, with no elements or ingredients that you want to take into your body, and just doing it naturally, and then you decide, okay, I'm going to drop this and see what happens, without any expectations, and it's good not to have any preconceived ideas, but at the same time, you should expect that something is going to happen that's out of your normal range of daily life. And if you get into this stuff with completely clueless, you can really go into some wild stuff, man, that you might not be prepared to handle. You just might not be ready for it. Now, if you have these experiences where you're already doing this stuff, and then you come across these elements, yes, it could help your experience. It could help you project you deeper into it, perhaps break certain barriers. And this is just my view on the whole psychedelic thing, and it's just my opinion only. I always saw it as, there are many great speakers, people like Terence McKenna. He was like the psychedelic god, the person who knew all these deep things. And I liked Terence McKenna. I liked hearing his voice. He had a very nice voice, and You know, he really just puts you kind of in a trance when you listen to him talk. But the one thing that I noticed that a lot of people just focused on was, okay, we got to get this psychedelic experience kicked off. And the psychedelics, for me, the purpose is, and this is just my opinion, the purpose really is to show you that these other realms are here and all around us at all times, and they exist. Not necessarily for you to become dependent upon them. You know, not for you to become a psychedelic junkie and every, day, every few minutes. Well, you can't do it every day because you build a tolerance. But, every time you turn around, you want to drop a psychedelic. No, the purpose is you take these things in a right state of mind, prepare yourself for what you're going to experience, see what you have your experience, and then come back and make a report on what you saw, what was happening, and find out what else is going on and how you can get it back into that state if possible, and it is possible, without having to go down that route again. Especially they're very good for, I would say, people who have a very rigid state of mind and very closed-minded people. I heard this story one time, and I can't really get the source, but I've heard something where they were doing some DMT trials, and they basically gave I can't remember the details. It was like a shaman or one of these tribal people in somewhere, some tribe, and he was a shaman, and they gave him a large dose of psychedelics, and nothing happened, and they were shocked because it was way beyond the normal dose, and they realized that people, the traditional shamans and people who are into these spiritual realms already, they said they don't really need that stuff to get into these realms. And they actually needed more than beyond the normal dose that people usually would take to get into these realms. So it was more of like they weren't shocked. It wasn't a shock for them, because for them it's like, hey man, we do this, we've been doing this for thousands of years, without any of that. But like I said, but of course it's a part of their traditions also, and they do have these things. And so bottom line, I don't want to go off on a rant, excuse me. All I'm saying is, don't become dependent on them. Do them. Enjoy them in a comfortable setting, if it's legal, of course, within your town, local town, city, state, or country. Make sure it's legal. Don't get in trouble. Don't break the law. But yeah, do it with the right state of mind of going on a journey, an internal journey, an inner journey, and you're ready to cross barriers to expand your mind. And once you have them, then start putting together, okay, I had that experience, now how can I get back to that state, the same state, without having to take it again? Because I've had these experiences where, and I don't know if anyone has had this, they probably have, but man, I've had some experiences where I went out of body, I'm in this world, and these other entities, people have approached me and say, hey man, you want to drop this and try it? And I'm like, well, hell yeah. And man, this would have, if not the same effect, excuse me, 20 times more potency and effect than anything on this side. And you think to yourself, well, damn, this brings up two important points. Either A, in which I already know for myself, you are crossing into other realms, and this is their form or their style of psychedelics. And or two, or B, that if you want to believe that this is just dream brain chemistry and you're making these things up in your head, then if you want to follow that route, you can say that the brain, or that you're somewhere in your genetic makeup, it has actually remembered the experience and you are reliving it. So that tells me that there is the ability to go back, go deep within yourself, find that experience where you did have these things, and relive it once again. And that's a whole nother subject. But yes, if you have taken any of these so-called psychedelics, and if you know how to do it, you can relive that experience, relive that experience and have, if not the same effect, 10 times more the effect that you originally had. And I guess this taps into what people will call the placebo effect, where in clinical trials they have given people placebo psychedelics, and two groups. Group A has the real stuff. Group B has the fake placebo, and Group B is sitting here tripping, man. They're like, whoa, look at all the lights, and oh, I'm seeing entities, and wow, what's going on? And they have a sugar pill. They haven't taken anything. They're basically, they're inducing these things on their own. So that tells you the power of our consciousness. This lets you know the true power that we have. We can have psychedelic experiences without necessarily having to do them. And the thing is, you can get so addicted to these things that, especially if wherever you live at, if these things are illegal, number one, you're playing with your life, because if you get busted, then you're in big trouble. And there goes your so-called, if you have a job or your life gets turned upside down, you end up with a police record. And two, they don't come through so often. So what if getting used to this trip, this ride, and suddenly there's a scarcity, and now you can't get anything, and now you're sitting here bugging out, oh my God, I can't get my psychedelics, I can't do this, I can't do that. And meanwhile, you should be really focusing on, okay, well, I had all the experiences, I should be able to go back into them without depending on, a supplier or someone who wants to give it to me. So that's what I have to say about that. And we can talk more about it if you want to at a later date. But anyway, yeah. So, let me see. Yes, I'm naked. That's right. If you just came into this video, go back to the first one. I explained why I'm naked. Why? Because I want to be naked. That's it. Let me see. Alright, I got to get out of here soon. But a few little bits I want to drop on you. This is shifting. Okay. Something else I wanted to touch, isn't it? Okay, yeah. Now, I just wanted to bring this point up. It's very interesting to me that this stuff, and when I say stuff, I'm talking about other realms, meditation, crossing over to other realities, lucid dreaming, out-of-body experiences, near-death experience, or the whole, everything, just all of it combined into one topic. You know what's funny? The fact that everyone is having these experiences, right? Everyone. You're having them, I'm having them, people across the world are having them, people who have no contact with each other. And they're very profound experiences, and they change your life, and but these things, we've never heard about this in school. Now, is that just a coincidence? Hell no, it's not. It is not a coincidence, man. There is a reason why we're not hearing about any of this stuff from children. This is some very powerful stuff. And not just powerful, it's self-empowering information for yourself. Can you imagine the effect on the world and how the world would be a completely different one than we're in now if we learned this information from pre-K, kindergarten, or first grade, whatever have you, and up? If they told us from children, from the education system, listen, there are other realms of reality, you create your own reality. At night when you go to sleep, you can enter what we call dreams, and you can control them, but actually dreams are other realities and other worlds that you go to, and you can also go out of body, which is the same thing as a lucid dream. And I mean, all of these things, if they told us this information when we were children, I'm quite sure this world, and I mean not just America, not just specific countries, I'm talking about the whole world. If this was a common knowledge, we would not be in the current state of events that we have going on around us right now. Because everyone would be so much in tune with themselves, there would be no need to have violence, racism, hate. Now, I'm not saying that there will be no problems. Of course, there's always going to be some type of conflict somewhere. If we had this information, the conflict would probably be, my out-of-body experience is better than your out-of-body experience, or my entity is more powerful than your entity, and my inner self is stronger than, it'll probably be a different set of problems. But at the same time, it'll probably be, I don't want to say better, but a less violent state of affairs, because instead of actual physical violence, we'd probably be trying to battle these things out up in the the astral realm somewhere. But no one would be getting hurt, not physically anyway. And yeah, so it just rather strikes me as rather peculiar and strange that we don't hear about these things. They're given zero priority, like I said in my last video. And people with the talent that actually can do these things, they're just given no respect. You know, they're just considered as daydreamers in society that need to wake up and get on with the real world. And yeah, I just can't imagine how you can go through 8 years of elementary to junior high school, and then 4 years of, you know, whatever amount of years through university, and, you know, preschool, elementary, junior high school, university, all the way up to work, and no one has ever heard or talked about any of these things. Hey, conspiracy, people can call it that. Oh, they're going to say, oh boy, here he goes, he's going to conspiracy theories, but it does not take a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon to realize that something is going on in the world. You know, this, and if you think for a moment that these people who are so-called elite or whatever are running the show, and if you think they have no idea about this stuff, you better wake up. They know exactly about all of this stuff. They know about out-of-body experiences. They know about dreams. They know about other realities. They know this stuff. And they're hoping that you don't know about it. They know about this. They're not illiterate. They're not stupid. Yes, their actions may seem stupid to us as far as having war and all these type of things, but see, you got to understand it on a much deeper level. And you have to see where these people are coming from. See, what it comes down to is, yes, we are immortal. We're all immortal. Every single person on this planet is immortal. We cannot die. Physically, we can be taken out of reality. That's why you hear the phrase in movies when they have a sniper or they're ready to shoot someone. They say, take him out. Well, what do you think that means? That, yeah, take him out. Take him out of this reality. He gets removed when they shoot him, and he dies. But he doesn't actually die. He just gets literally taken out of this reality. And yeah, they know about this stuff. And they're, like I said, I just lost my train of thought, but their actions may seem, okay, that's what I was going to say, yeah. They, when you realize, when you know for a fact that there's no death, now I'm not saying this is right, but some people take this message and distort it and say, well, if there's no death and you're not actually killing anyone, then yeah, we don't mind having a war and, you know, sacrificing 3,000 or, you know, X amount of people in a war because, hey, they're not dying anyway. So they're just going to cross back over and it's not a problem. So this is the type of thinking that these people have. This is why they don't hesitate to send people into battle. Well, they sit back and relax and just watch the outcome. They don't care. What do they care? Because they understand the deeper meanings of this. They understand the mysteries. They know the deep mysteries. They know that there is no death and you can't die. So basically, they have set themselves up in a position where they appear to have the power, and they dictate their moves out to the rest of us, and yeah, go do this and you're going to do that, and yes, you're black and you're white and you're Japanese and this is how it is and you got to follow the rules. But they're not following the rules, man. They're up on the top seat. Everything they're telling us not to do and what's taboo and don't do this and don't do that, they're doing it. 9 times out of 10, they're probably doing the same shit that they tell us we can't do. And when they get caught, if you notice, they walk and nothing really happens to them. They get a slap on the wrist, bad boy, don't do it again, or bad girl, and life continues for them. Us, man, we get railroaded. You know, they want to throw us on TV, flash our face across everywhere. Basically, they're out to hang us. And yeah, so don't think for a moment that they're not aware of this information. They're very aware of it. And expanding your mind, expanding your consciousness, this is a daily process. This is daily. This is not something that you just do 10 minutes out of the day and then the rest of the day you're watching television. And then before you go to bed, okay, I want to have an out-of-body experience and I hope I get sleep paralysis project out. And then you wake up and, I didn't have anything, nothing happened, okay, this is bullshit, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. You need to be into this daily. It has to be a part of your life. It has to be who you are. And there's a big difference between believing and knowing. You know, people ask me sometimes, do you believe in out-of-body experience, or do you believe in life after death? And I say, no, I don't believe it. I know it exists. And that's a big difference between believing and knowing. See, for me, and this is just my train of thought only, if you believe something, that means you haven't really witnessed it, but you just have an idea that it's possible and you want to believe that it's there. But when you know something, you know that it's there. You know it. And no one can change your mind. And, you know, you have to have the same belief as in, or the same knowing as how we believe other things that people tell us. I mean, they tell us about Mars. Okay, Mars is here. We got the Mars rover. We all would believe right now, if someone were to ask you, is there a Mars rover? Say, yeah, there's a Mars rover. It's on Mars. Of course it is. How do you know? You don't know anything. All you know is what they basically told you from NASA and what's on the news. There's a Mars rover, and that's it. You actually don't know if there's a Mars rover. You don't even know if Mars is what they say it is. But we believe it 100% that it exists and that it's real. You have to believe in these other realities and these other states of consciousness the same way you believe in other countries exist that you've never been to. Everyone believes that North Korea is real, right? But no one has ever been to North Korea. Well, you know, people who haven't been there in the rest of the world. But we believe it's real because the news tells us it's real and we see some video clips. You know, but we have no actual idea that it's really there. We haven't actually seen it with our own eyes. So when you have these experiences, don't play yourself down. You have power. People, please, my fellow brothers and sisters, you have power. Don't let anyone take you out of your element. And you know, it's another point I wanted to bring up is this is what happens to a lot of people, and myself included. I'm not going to take me. I'm not a guru. I'm not saying, well, I might look like one now as I'm naked. I'm not a guru, but all I'm saying is this. Look, we have a habit of, let's say you have a deep lucid dream and you cross over, or you go out of body and cross over, right? Or you have a real deep psychedelic experience where you're in one with the universe and it's all just happening. And at that moment, this is no doubt, this is real. You feel it. I am one with the universe. I am here. And then what happens? You come back out of your reality, your experience, or your trip, and you tell a few people about it. You might document it. And 1 week passes, 2 weeks passes, and then you're right back to the same shit. You know, you're stressing about work, and you're like, oh my God, you know, that this person said this about me. But what about last week when you were in one with the universe, and you connected with everything, and you met entities, and they taught you about the nature of their reality, and you go, oh yeah, I did have that experience. But you see, the reason I say you have to be into this daily is because, why? Because we are being bombarded and hit with subliminal messages and mind control daily, on a daily basis. That's why you have to work on this daily, including myself. On a daily basis, I meditate, I go out of body, I focus on this energy, I project my energy. I do a lot of stuff that I haven't even told you guys yet. That's for more videos to come, but this stuff goes deep, man, and it really does. And it touches on so many levels, all the way from the astral realms down to the sexual realms. That's right, folks, sex does play into this. I'm not going to get into that now, it's another video, but yes, sex does play into this a lot. So, yeah, you have to do this daily because we are being hit daily with a lot of bullshit that is not necessarily beneficial to our consciousness development. So, I got to get out of here because I'm going to keep running on a rant. Like I said, I apologize. The first video it cut, and I got this one. If anything seemed unorganized, hey, just deal with it for now. Yeah, if you come across this video by chance on the internet and you're on the weird side of YouTube again, please watch my other videos, subscribe, tell me what you want to talk about. I know people have thrown a few questions at me, and I will address them. One person, Miss Day Fox, my sister, and all of you are my brothers and sisters. And she's a new sister that just joined us. And she asked me to comment on the archangels and experience to other planets. Yes, I will get into that. Other planets and angels and all these other things, I will get into much deeper details at a later point in my next video. But for now, this is all I have to say. Thank you, everyone. Peace, love, and harmony as always. And yes, don't be afraid to go naked. Let me stop, man. But yeah, you gotta be naked sometimes, man. Naked is the way to go. We were born naked. What's embarrassing about it? Hey, it is what it is. Alright, everyone. Let me get out of here. Yeah, take care. Bye.